Hello there, my name's Vince from My Mate Vince and welcome to day 8 of the Advent Challenge. So today is Sunday the 8th of December and I'm going to try to get this video filmed and edited and out today. So I don't want anything too challenging. So I looked in my box of 40 items and I've taken out this one here. Hopefully it might be a little bit of fun. I'm slightly hungover today, hence the reason I don't want anything too challenging, and also I haven't really got much time to get it fixed, edited and out in the same day, but fingers crossed we will be successful. So let's get this over to the map and see exactly what it is. Oh my god, I wasn't expecting that. I thought it might actually be hard plastic. The funny toilet, guys, sounds activated. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Oh look, there's a lady version as well. Right, well, let's see what's happening. Is it going to be corroded battery terminals? Is it going to be a faulty on and off switch? Let's find out. They're a little bit corroded, but they're not too bad. Let's get 3 batteries and see what's happening. Right, so I've turned it on and it's not doing anything. Let's see if we actually have voltage. So I wonder how this is done. So that starts here, through to here, to here, through to here, to here. So we should have 1.5, 4.5, 4.5 plus volts. So these are all in series. And we haven't. So it's basically corroded battery terminals, and I bet it's this one here. Yeah, so look, we haven't got any reading there. Let's see if we got a reading here. This one looks clean. Yeah, we have there. That still looks a little bit crusty though if I go there. But if I go onto the spring, we've got a reading there and a reading there. Okay, now there may be more to it, but I think it is just probably going to be battery related. So to begin with, just to see if we can get it working, let's do a little scrape here. Right, let's do the same again. Ooh, still not working. Might be more interesting. Right, let's see if we now have the 4.5 volts. 4.8 volts. Right, okay. So there is voltage going into it now, and it's still not working. So let's see what's going to be wrong. Will it be corrosion in the switch maybe? Now we've got some screws here and here, and also in here as well. You know, this is awkward because he's glued to it, you see. He's glued onto here. Unless I can break the seal here. This was, oh, here we go. Hopefully I can pull this out. Right, okay. Wow. Oh, well, there we go. And also that switch looks awful. Oh, and that goes in here. It's, there's a little screw here that locks. That pivots in here. Yeah, that pivots. Second, so we've got a speaker. This is interesting. We've got a speaker here and a piezo buzzer. So does the piezo buzzer pick up the... Is that acting as a mic... Hold on a minute. Where's the microphone? Is the piezo buzzer acting as some sort of microphone? Whereas picking up vibrations? I think this is older than I thought it might be. Ah, we've got a broken wire here as well. Okay. That's weird that there's just a bit of paper there. And it's been glued in. Ah, and that travels in here. This thing spins and it makes it go. He must do this. As if he's straining. Right, okay. It's travelling in that guide there. Right, so Two broken wires here. Everything's breaking now. Uh-oh. So we need to sort out the switch, and we also need to find out where that wire goes to as well. So maybe we should start with this one, because that one's going to be quite hard to... that's going to be the hardest one to work out. I think I'm going to take off this bit of paper here. Really weird way to do it. I've never seen paper used like that. Has it got writing on it? Maybe. Oh, and that's your blob chip for the sound, for the audio. So the board must be the same on any one, but then, for example, if it's like a female one, they must put a different blob chip on. They must solder on a different little board here. And this bottom board's the same for all of them. Right, let's zoom in and see if we can work out where this went. I'm pretty sure, could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it goes to here, because I think I can just see a tiny bit of wire sticking up here, unless of course this is looped round, but I don't think so. I think this goes to here. So what I'm going to do, before I worry about the switch, I'm going to get a soldering iron on, and I'm going to remake all these joints here, because they don't look very nice. A lot of them look corroded, so I'm going to have to just cut back a little bit off each of the wires. Right, annoyingly, the rot's gone to there. Do you know what? The whole thing might be rotten, so I might have to renew every single wire. Let's see if we get shiny copper here. Now, can you see it's blackened? So I think it's travelled up. Yeah, it's blackened there as well. So capillary action has pulled up the corrosion from the batteries right the way up into here, which is... I don't quite understand that, because the thing is, this isn't even going to the batteries. Or is this just oxidised over the years? No, that one's broken. Okay, I've got a load of wire from some old Christmas lights that are no longer working, and like beyond fixable. And what I'm going to do is, I know it's not colour-coded wire, but I'll put a little heat shrink on to denote that this is a red one. And I'm just going to replace some of the wires, because a lot of these, even when I strip them back, they're black through. So I think they've just maybe oxidised over the years right the way through, or it might have been in a damp environment or something. Maybe dampness has got into this and travelled up the wire, but they're not going to make a good connection if I solder them. A lot of the wires have fallen off. I think I know where they go, but the challenging thing might be, if it's not working, is to try to work out where the wires should be. But I'm hoping I'll be alright. I do have different colour wire, but it's all very small. Well, these are quite big wires. Look at that. That shows how corroded it is. That iron's on there, and it's not making any difference. It's like it's got a layer over the solder. It's more like cement. It'd be fine. What I'll do is I'll add some leaded solder to it. But look, can you see it's not melting? Wow. Okay, let's add some leaded solder to that to try to break through it. Now, where are you going to go? Look at that! That's amazing. It's not melting at all. And my iron's red hot, 450 degrees Celsius. There we go. Now you're gone. Well, that really is hard to melt. It is like little lumps of cement. I presume it's just when it gets corroded like that, it must just go more solid or something. You know, like solder normally you kind of dig your nail in. This stuff felt like it was cement. Really, really strange. It must have some reaction with it and cause it to go harder. And then maybe the soldering iron is like kind of melting just a layer rather than getting into the solder and melting the solder. Very strange. Anyway, of course it's going to be meltable if you start jabbing it with the soldering iron and add lots of solder to it, but it did put up a little bit of a fight. So all I'm doing is replacing just a few of the wires. I'm not going to replace everything, but the ones that look like they've been hit with the corrosion, because some of the joints look okay, but some of them really do look very dark. The ones that look like they've been hit with corrosion, then I'm just replacing those ones there. Right, I think the weak wires are taken care of. I won't really know until it starts working. So if I was just to put power into this now, it should just kick off and start going, I think. So let's get my bench power supply to 4.5 volts, and then we can worry about the switch afterwards. Right, positive and negative. Let's see if it starts going when I make some sound. Yes. Well, it went once. Oh my god, that's disgusting. It's not moving though. What? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, how long does it go on for? Wow. Still going. Okay, it's still going. But it wasn't moving. So the voice sound of it is okay, but it's not moving. Could it be a seized up motor? So what we're going to do is, let's put some voltage straight into the motor and see if it's going to start working, because we have... One second, I can't take that again. Let's put some voltage into the motor. I'm just going to put like 2 volts or something. And let's see if it starts moving or not. And then if it doesn't, maybe I can turn this. It does actually have a little elastic band going up. So there's a little drive belt here. So I'm going to go to just 2 volts. And let's see if that motor is seized. So it looks like this one here is the positive. Is it going to work? No. It's not drawing anything either. Right, okay, let's set up the voltage a bit. Now 3 volts. Nah. It's not doing anything. Okay. That's going to be a bit of a pain to take apart. I mean, does this just come down, or is it all going to be... It's probably all glued up there, is it? Oh, no. No, we can take it out. We can take it out. Hold on now. What on earth? Look at him now. There we go. Still going to be tricky to get to, so I'm just going to turn this and hope that it's going to go onto a new part. Right, what we'll do is, let's get the bench power supply. I'm going to put it back to 2 volts, and we'll put it on there while turning it and see if it suddenly starts kicking in. Let's take the belt off for a moment. Yeah, it's going. It's going. So I think I've now freed it up. Let's take that off. Put that back on here. And now, I suppose that needs to be up. Let's put this back into its position. Because it was under too much strain, you see. Because I've got the, the rod can't go anywhere. Now it should be able to move. So let's put voltage into this again, and now let's see if he starts moving. I've got a feeling the motor was just seized up. It's turning. It's not doing anything. Well, it's definitely turning now. It wasn't before, but it's still not working. Okay. Wow, there's actually quite a bit wrong with this. So, the motor was seized, but it's still not working because I presume the gearbox is not doing what it's needing to do. That there is spinning very fast, but yet this isn't doing anything. And nothing's happening up top either. So I think it's all going to have to come out. Now here we go. Right. Can even see corrosion up here. So is this going to be the curse of the nylon gears? Certainly old enough. I thought this thing was going to be modern, but no, I would say that this is from the 90s. What do you think? In fact, would it say it anywhere, I wonder? It says 2003. So yeah, it's not older than that, is it? Okay. Thought it was older. Okay, now the motor's at the bottom. It turns this, which should turn this, but it's not. This is working, and then that turns that as well. So annoyingly, I think this here is gone. Yeah, nylon gears, they always curse me. Look how loose that is. Should we zoom in, see if we can see the brake? There it is. See the crack here? It's cracked here. Oops. There. Right down there. Right, let me see if I might actually have one of them. You never know. Right, I've got some gears here. I'm just going to have a little look through here and see if any of them are suitable. Right, if you look at this one here, can you see it's got the same amount of teeth and they seem to be lined up the same. It seems to be the same size, but the hole's a lot smaller, but that's fine. I've just got to drill the hole to make it a little bit bigger. So let's do that now. Now I've got some drill bits here and a little hand drill. Let's see, because I want it to be slightly smaller than this, but obviously a lot bigger than that, because that's not going to fit on there. I think we'll start with 1.6, but I think we're going to need to go a lot bigger than that. So this set here doesn't go big enough. And I'm just going to gently go through, let it find its own way. Here we go. Right, let's see if I can go slightly bigger. Yeah, I don't know what it is with this set here. They just all seem to be completely and utterly blunt. Unless, do you know what? Maybe they're for metal. I'm not too sure. But I don't really want to go through here. I'm just going to try to scrape through on this. Here we go. Right, that's pretty tight. It's turning. It's turning down here. Obviously very slowly. Excellent. Right, okay, let's put the screws back in. So I put the screws back in, and now I need to concentrate on the switch to see if that's working, because it all looks pretty corroded. So let's have a think about this. That's going to be onto that one there. Hold on, why have we got a lump of solder in the middle there? Is that on or off? That's on. So we're going to have the negative, aren't we, onto here, yeah? And then, hold on a minute, my brain's gone. Why do we need this black wire here? That's there, so that's taking the negative off the battery, yeah? And then all we needed to do is put that onto the switch there, and then this one here. And then when you move the switch to on, it's just going to join those two together. So why have we got this here? That's confusing. Well, let's undo the switch. And let's try to get all the old solder off, and then we'll see if the switch is actually working. We might have to take it apart, because you can see it's just folded over here. So I cleaned up all the old solder, and a lot of the terminals are just completely blackened, so I have to use the grinding pen to get them back to metal. And sure enough, the switch doesn't work even with clean terminals, because it's gone on the inside. So I need to open up the switch to see if I can clean what's inside. Right, we have to take the switch apart. Yeah, it's completely broken. So I'm hoping I should be able to prise these up, and then that will allow me access inside. There you go. So that there is actually clean. That's okay. It's this bit here which is not. So you can see what happens when you move the switch. It's purely joining either those two contacts or those two contacts. And these are just straight down onto the legs down below. So they should be okay now. So I think before we put it back together, let's put a little bit of deoxit on that. Here we go. Deoxit. I'm still waiting for my sponsorship. It's been about 5 years now. Nice. Now, still works. Let's see if it's going to now connect. Excellent. And nothing here. Now move it. Yay. And nothing here. Good. Right. Give that one more go. Yes. Brilliant. We fixed the switch. I'm just going to try to watch back the beginning of the video. I know I'm being dense. I just don't understand why I need to have that go into the switch. Why can't I just have... Do you know what they might have done? Is it just instead of soldering it to here, they found it easier to solder to here? That's what's happened, isn't it? But they've used an extra wire where they didn't need to. Or is it because they don't want it anywhere near here? Well, if it's here, it might get in the way of this. That's just come off now. Maybe that's why. Maybe they've done it to here, to the first one, and then it's not actually using the switch as a switch, it's purely using it as a solder joint, just to bring the negative up. And then the positive of the battery goes either one here, and then... No, sorry, positive battery would go here, and then the toy one would go to here, and then when you switch them, it connects everything together. I think that's what they've done. Yeah, okay, well, I'll do it as they've done it. Well, interestingly, I watched the beginning of the video, and both black wires are going to the battery terminal one. So I just do not understand why they run that little wire. Why does the black wire have to be on that first leg? It doesn't, does it? All we need to do is have the positive wire on the right hand side from the battery terminal, and we just need to have the toy positive going to the middle terminal. I don't understand why we need that black wire. Really, really weird, because I know it doesn't cost much, but it's still going to add on an extra couple of pence, and if it's not needed, I can't quite get my head around there. Anyway, I have wired it up where both wires are going from the switch over to the terminal. So basically, it's the same as when I took it apart from I'm using the left-hand terminal of the switch to join the two wires together, rather than using the terminal. But if you could put it down in the comment section, why would they have even run that wire to the one on the black? I hope I'm not going to get slated now. It's obvious in my head, it's just that... I'm not too sure, because it's not like a double switching thing going on. You know, in this switch here, there's just 3 possible contacts, and you've either got the left in the middle when it's off, or the right in the middle when it's on. So, yeah, there's not double switching. It's not breaking the negative as well as the positive. So, if I'm honest, it's all a little bit confusing to me why they run that wire. Anyway, I've run it now, and it should now be working. Now, if this corrosion was fresh, I'd put white vinegar on it, but I don't think there's any point at all, because this corrosion's from ages ago. So I don't think it's still active, if you know what I mean. I don't think I need to neutralise anything. Amazingly, I looked up the price of these, yeah. I put up on screen what I paid for it. I know it's in America, but somebody's trying to sell one for $95. So maybe they are actually relatively rare. Right, I hope I've got this right now. So we've got the switch here. We're going to have the voltage on the negative there through series. So we're going to have negative and plus 4.8-ish volts. That's going to that part of the switch there, so it can't do anything when it's in this position here. And when it's in this position, all we're doing is connecting the negative up to the negative that goes up, and also we're connecting this, but it's not getting power anywhere, yeah? So it can't do anything. But when we move this to here, we've now livened up this, and this is already connected to negative. I think I've got that correct. So essentially when it's like that, it is putting a short on, but there's nothing too short because there's no power there. I hope I've got that right. So let's just put this in just to see if we're going to have any life. So right now it shouldn't do anything, but now if I turn it on, there we go. Turn in here. Going again. Yeah. Well, it appears to be working. Yeah, excellent. So I think I've wired that up correctly. When I'll edit the video back, I'll know. But I think that's what they've done. But you could have just brought that wire straight to here because it's not, it's not doing anything anyway. But I'm wondering if they've done it to clear it from here. Right, I'm going to have to try to sort of hot snot glue this back into some sort of order. So I get a hot glue stick, I use my hot air station and I melt it. I put a nice big dollop where the motor is, where the paper was originally at the beginning, and that deals with the two motor wires because you don't want them getting tangled up in the thing that rotates. Also towards the back of the toilet I put a nice big dollop of glue as well, and that deals with all the other wires, the wires going up to the speakers and stuff, and also the wires coming down to the battery terminals. It's amazing, beforehand it was a bird's nest, but a little bit of glue and all of a sudden it just looks a lot less chaotic. Okay, so I think I've glued them up all out of the way. So they're glued here and they're glued there, same as they were before, but before they had paper on them. So now I think we can close this up and hopefully this will go into that groove. Right, I'm just going to see if that's in the right place before I do up all the screws. Not doing it. Also, did I have a hole in the knee at the beginning? Did you watch the video back? I didn't burn it, did I? Oh, I hope not. I wonder is the belt slipping? Or is it fouling where it's going into this thing at the bottom? It doesn't seem to want to move now. You know what? I think it's slipping a bit. If you have a look at the belt, when I hold it here, can you see it's turning? I think it's slipping. I think it's slipping just a little bit. I think it's slipping just a little bit. This is going to have to come out again. So annoyingly, the belt's just ever so slightly loose, and it's fine when everything's out because there's no real friction there and it's working perfectly. But when you put it in to the actual case, then you've already got a little bit more friction from the rubber man, but also the main thing is that rotating thing at the bottom goes into the groove by the slot by the batteries, and what that's doing is forcing the character to move forward and backwards. So when it's on the blue mat, it's not forcing anything, it's just turning. But with the friction of trying to make the character move forward and backwards, it's overcoming the belt, and the belt's just slipping. So the belt can make him go up and down okay, but when it comes to the forward and back, it's not working. So I have to see if I've got something that may be suitable. It's a very strong little belt. I can't use a Walkman belt, it'll be too weak, and an elastic band will be too elastic. So I've got to find something that might work. Right, I've got this which is going to be a lot tighter, but it's also a lot thicker. I mean, I've got like drive belts for Walkmans, but I think they're just going to be too soft. This is very actually. This is springy. I think it's only. See, I'm not even sure if it is loose. I think it's just the fact that everything's gone a bit weak, like the motor and stuff. Maybe the motor needs cleaning on the inside. I'm going to try to cut this in half if possible. And if this doesn't work, I could always try boiling the original belt in my wife's favourite saucepan or in my soup frying pan, and then that might be enough just to make it shrink just a fraction of a millimetre, and that might make it tight enough. I know that's too weak, but it's smaller. Hold on. Well, I suppose we can try it. Oh, you know what? That does feel stronger. I didn't think it would, but maybe because the belt's a little bit smaller, it's that does definitely feel stronger. Yes. Yes. Brilliant. Right, quickly, do up the screws. Finish up the video of him working. It might only work for a few goes before it goes. Excellent. It wasn't me. It was there all along. That's the eBay listing.
Showtime.
Okay, we're ready. Will the maybe not so funny toilet guy do his thing? You ready? I'm whispering. He's off. I don't actually know what to say. What is amazing though is, considering he's got nothing in his arms, they really are very, very animated. It's the sort of thing that I would get bored of after 2 goes, if I'm honest with you. But I don't know, maybe it brings back memories to some of you. I was quite surprised about the amount of things that was wrong. So not only did we have corrosion on lots of the wires and a wire undone, the switch was completely gone. The motor was seized because it hasn't been used in so long, so the motor didn't work. We had to kickstart that by just moving it a bit. And then the gearbox, the gear was loose. And then on top of that, the belt was ever so slightly loose as well. So there was actually a lot of fixing in this. So that is it for Advent Day number 8. Hopefully you did enjoy it. And I will see you again, fingers crossed, for Day 9 tomorrow. I'm just going to bring the camera down low and just finish up the outro of the video with him going off one more time. World's most irritating toy? Yep, I think so.